Live from the internet and recorded on October 3rd, 2018, this is the Crystal Chronicles, your official, unofficial Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia podcast. This is episode number 25. Finally, the big 2-5 is on. My name is Pierre, and tonight I am joined not by one, but two great Dissidia players and masters. That would be, as usual, the guy you all know and love, Mark. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Pierre.
And our new co-host, which is a longtime Twitch participant and, breaker fixer of all of our silly mistakes, that would be Mino. Good evening, Mino.
Oh, good evening. You're making me blush.
Well, you kept us on check a few times, so we figure at this point we might have as well just come clear and have you on the show instead of saying every 30 seconds, well, mine on Twitch is saying that da-da-da-da-da, so we might as well just give you the spot right on. So basically, wow, I was looking at this and we haven't had the show for 2 weeks. We missed 2 weeks. I was trying to remember pre-show what event did we totally miss out on. So there was Mariah with her half-boob shirt thingy, which is probably not canon at all. You're not going to tell me, Mark or Mino, that there's a drawing of how half-boob Mariah somewhere in Final Fantasy II art.
I think there might be. Let me Google this.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure that is canon. Yeah.
Okay, let's think for a second. How the hell can it be comfortable and protective to go out fighting with something like that?
I found it. Let me link it in the chat.
I know you're terrible. Yeah, Gallet's saying it's 100% canon. So, what would you know? I'm full of crap again.
Because, I think they base all their designs off the original.
Well, crap, it is canon. Wow. I can't believe this. Who? Obviously a man drew this.
Well, yeah, it's the same guy who does all of them.
I know, I'm just saying. Anyway, yeah, I'm being silly. I knew this. Huh.
Well, it's got a system. That's what I'm saying. It's... you know how I feel
what system?
About Final...
Aim for the right?
You know how I feel about Final Fantasy II and their fashion, but they're very there's a lot of fashion in Final Fantasy II.
For that, there is.
It's the most fashionable of the Final Fantasy. A lot of head stuff, a lot of head accessories, a lot of accessories.
So
yeah, but Maria's got a bow and arrow.
Yep, she does.
And Meteor. So.
All right,
yeah,
so
she does a little backflip and blows stuff up. It's great. It's like Hawkeye.
So just like Maria in her half-boob shirt, that's now in Final Fantasy Dissidia Opera Omnia, so are we. We're back after a 2-week hiatus, and there's something else that's back. We've been fighting and claiming and requesting it so hard that Square had no other choice but to bring back the Kupo Cards.
Yeah. That's 100% us.
Oh yeah, no. I spoke with my couple contacts at Square. They all said that was a one-time thing, and you guys fought so hard, and we got so much hate mail saying that the Crystal Chronicle guys were really hard on Square, that they had no other choice but to bring them back. It was never part of the plan at all. So it's the same thing we did when we totally got Kuja and Sephiroth failed to be the first choice in those pools. It's the same.
Let's be honest. Those are the most popular characters, though. Of course, everyone was going to vote for them.
Yeah.
So basically what they did, if I follow your thinking there, Mino, is that they gave us the illusion of choice. That was planned all along. They would have been pretty highly, majorly screwed if Rydia or somebody else would have won these pools, it would be like, what? Wait, we've got to redo all this server maintenance. We're not ready for this.
There was this great quote I saw on Twitter. Somebody tweeted in response to the survey and says, so basically you're just asking us if we want Sephiroth now or later, which I completely agree with.
It does make sense. So, sorry. All right. So that's one thing. Another thing before we get into the Dissidia news, Mark linked something to us earlier, and if you are lucky enough to... Wayward Drunk says, I voted for Rydia. So did I, but...
So did I.
It didn't do anything. So yeah, Mark linked this to Mino and I, and if you're lucky enough to be looking at this live on Twitch or on YouTube, now obviously if you have the audio version you won't really see anything. It's the ugly Christmas Final Fantasy X shirt that I'm showing right now on the stream. It's basically a red sweatshirt with there's a Titus and Yuna laughing, whether it's the male or female shirt, laughing ha 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 ha, except it's in a Christmas theme and it says ho 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 ho. It's just horribly, terribly ugly, just as any good Christmas shirt should be. And I'm thinking of getting one of each for my kids, just so that they get beat up at school or something. But at least they'll get beat up in style. So
yeah, I did tweet James Arnold Taylor to see if he would like one of those for Christmas. So yeah. Whoever came up with that is a twisted evil being. That there's no doubt in there. Let's see. So it's Odon, which means three things. It's pretty goddamn dark early, and we haven't even switched time yet. It's cold as hell outside, and there's the Autumn Festival campaign in Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia, which kind of sounded like it would be a thing, and then it wasn't. I mean, they changed a few things. They gave weird tokens, but that's kind of where it ended. But maybe that's just me. Basically, they removed the Prerequisists on the last chapters. Yeah, thank you. Prerequisites. Yes.
The Prequistis on the last chapters. I wasn't even aware they were Quistis on the last chapters. What were they?
Like you had to have, well, is it lost chapters or right.
The lost chapters. Yeah, you had to beat certain story chapters to do some of the lost chapters, depending on release order. So, for example, for like Echo and Squall or whatever, I think you had to complete chapter 5 or something like that.
Okay. Yeah. And now you can just download the game and go get Squall right away.
Yep.
Cool. Now something else.
Probably not, because you'll have Warrior of Light and Rem and Zaz with no weapons. So good luck.
I mean, all you have to do is beat a
the first one.
Fight. Yeah, it's like nothing.
All right. There's the autumn event, aka these Cactuar don't actually exist, or if you prefer a Cactuar Conundrum. They say that if you defeat 15 Cactuars, that's with a K, so Kactuars, for 15 armor tokens. The only thing they don't tell you is that they actually forgot to put those goddamn monsters in the game to begin with.
How many of you guys killed, by the way? I think I must have run it like 300 plus times.
Yeah.
And I'm at 10, I think.
No, I got all 15, but
you bastard!
It took a while.
I'm at right now 5.
I've just had my phone with me at work, and I've just there's been some people, we were talking online on Twitter, have done some bots. I've never been good at that. Apparently, there are some programs even on non-jailbroken phones that you can do, like click some auto clickers. So people are doing that, but I just have my phone because I usually don't use my phone at work. So I'm just sitting on my desk, click, go back to work, click, go back to work.
I get you. I mean, the good news, Pierre, is it lasts the whole month. Yeah. So what I'm planning to do is every time a new event character comes out for this month, I'm just gonna use that to level them and hope I get the Cactuars in time.
I mean, because really at that point we're all ranked 341. I mean,
Well, it's great XP.
There's no one else to level. The only thing is I can't do what you're doing, Mark, because I've got serious ADHD and I lose focus every minute and a half when I leave the battle, come back, and oh, what was I doing? Oh yeah, oh, battle's over, and yeah, it's not good at all. And I can't just bring myself to cheat or bot the thing, but yeah, it's
and you shouldn't, listeners, because apparently it's against the TOS. So
there you go.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. We are not recommending that you jailbreak your phone, that you emulate the game incorrectly, or that you use a auto-click program. The Crystal Chronicles does not support cheating in any way, shape, or form.
But we've done these battles,
But
and
if
we
you
fully
want to
understand why you would want to do that.
If you want to take your phone to work and just play Final Fantasy, Dissidia, Opera, Omnia all day, that's fine.
Yeah, if you get fired, don't sue us.
Don't call us. Yeah.
Daily mission rewards has been doubled, so I misread that. I thought we were having, when that was launched, I thought we were having double the crystal thing, and we are not. Where basically the 5 missions we get daily, you get double the stuff. I guess that's for the duration of the campaign, right?
Yeah, I'm glad. I needed some more Dissidia points, so
I know.
Yeah, I really like Dissidia points.
Then there's the Autumn Festival login bonuses, which is, just some stuff. Now, the thing I wanted to talk about, and when we started this point, I thought, I said I thought this campaign would be a thing, and then it wasn't. That's what I meant. See, right now I'm sitting on, let me go to the token shop. I'm sitting on 40 silver mug coins and 40 gold mug coins. Is there a way to get more or something? Is that?
No, that's it.
Okay, so it's normal. There's nothing you can do to get more coins. They basically just gave you.
If you beat the chapters.
Yeah. Okay.
You get coins for beating every chapter. So if you beat all 10 chapters on normal, you don't have to beat them on hard. If you beat all 10 chapters, you end up with 40 silver coins, 40 gold coins, and that will allow you to get 4 5-star weapons.
So how does that mat actually end up?
8 chapters. I think the gold tokens are for chapters 5 and up, and the silvers are for 1 through 4.
I see.
2 weapons from 1 through 4, 2 weapons from 5 to 8.
So what'd you guys get with your tokens? Did you spend them yet?
Yeah.
What'd you get?
Good question.
Power stones?
What did you get?
That is pretty much what I got. Power. No, I think really? Let me see. Yeah, because there's history. So
yeah, there's history. So.
So I got short barrel because I was anticipating going towards Vincent. So I got a short barrel for him. I got Vivi's staff because I do have Vivi's 35 CP, and so someday Vivi might get max limit broke. It's not looking good for him, but he might someday. And then I picked up Laylee's 5-star and Laguna's 5-star, which I've already sold because I wanted to max limit break Sephiroth, Aiko, and Vincent. So sorry, Laguna and Laylee. Hoping I pull your things when they come out next time.
So these last 2 are just power stones?
Yes.
Okay. What'd you get, Mino?
Let's see. I picked up Serah's bow because that was eluding me forever. Did not get her 15 CP. I'm so pissed that this came out after. I spent so many gems on Chapter 8 trying to get a spear and a bow for all the spear and bow users when I could have just got this, which is so annoying. Picked one up for Laguna because I know he's a solid character. Warrior of Light. Because I like Warrior of Light, and I forgot who my last person was, but it's probably someone dumb. How about you, Pierre?
Let's see. I didn't get anything because I have the. Oh my God! I have too many options. I ain't gonna choose any of them syndrome. So.
Well,
I got Vincent like Mark did. Yeah, that was my last one.
So,
short barrel.
but you know,
Yeah, well, you got 25 days, so make sure you don't wait too long.
Just don't forget.
and I don't think I'll forget. It's just I don't know which one to pick. But you know, I kind of said that I think it was in like private DMs or something. I have a serious inventory problem where I have kind of too much junk and not good enough characters. And maybe next show we'll do a whole let's judge Pierre's inventory segment.
Did you spend anything to increase your inventory? Because I'm finding myself doing that, especially with the ton of gems we just got in this last update. I counted because I had almost 0. We got almost 40k gems from the new Worlds of Illusions, the chapter, and then the Sephiroth event was like 40k total.
I have not.
My inventory is at 250.
I'm at 160 on 200.
It's just 6k to max out your inventory, so that's just one multiple. You should think about it.
What? Oh, what is there a max inventory?
500, I believe.
Okay, it is 500. Okay, I may do that just because the artifact grinding.
Oh yeah. I did it because I keep every weapon 5-star and 4-star, so I'm running out of inventory.
Yeah, I sell all my weapons to max limit break.
Oh, I also run the co-ops with books, so my artifacts fill up like that.
Oh, yeah, they have to fill up like crazy. Interesting. So, people on Twitch, and if you're listening at this afterward, I'm curious, why don't you send us a note? I'll say all of the contact junk at the end of the show. If you guys have upgraded your inventory or not, and what's your current limit? I'm super curious to hear what is your opinion on that. Last thing for the Autumn Festival campaign, it's the limited time gem sale, aka do you guys really buy that stuff? Because that's super expensive.
The regular gem sales where
yeah, where there's nothing except like gems in it.
I try not to. We'll see. Usually depends on what my gem count is like, but I know it looks like Square Enix Joshua's watching our stream right now, so I'm embarrassed to say that because this new update was so generous, I did not buy gems this time. Usually I'll drop maybe for the $37 pack a month.
Yep, that's usually what I do.
Yeah, but they gave us 40k gems.
It's a lot.
I'm not hurting.
See, that's my problem. It's that the one you say $37, that's the 9k gem, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's $52 Canadian. It's way past the mental limit of what kind of makes sense for me.
But did you get your Kupo card?
I did. And so that totals up to $28. So it's just, and it's for a month. So it's not just, oh, I got that, oh, I pulled, oh, I got junk, oh, I feel sad, I'm gonna go eat a whole bucket of ice cream. It's every day, I get a little something. Every day I'm just a little more excited to log in. I understand I don't get anything more. I understand it's still the same pain after a month. It's the same junk I'm gonna get in my pulls. It just feels better to wake up in the morning.
That's true. And Kupo cards are a great idea, Josh, now that you're watching.
We love the Kupo cards.
Please keep them coming.
Love the Kupo cards.
All right, let's get a moving. So, Chapter 10 was I need to get my shit together for this podcast and get sound clips added and stuff like that. I don't know why I haven't done that yet. I would have loved to play a great Final Fantasy VIII music for this. So basically, abandoned. How do you say that stupid name?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I feel much better now. Okay, so let me
abandoned is the first word.
Oh, abandoned. Okay. Petalum.
Petalum. Yeah, sure.
Petalum.
Sure. Petalum.
That is the chapter 10, which introduce one new bad guy we haven't seen before, and we don't fight all that much. The Discipline Committee committee from Final Fantasy VIII. That would be Fujin, Raijin, and Seifer. And then there's the Ultimisia, the Final Fantasy VIII witch, aka, if I'm not mistaken, the final boss, is it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Ultimisia, yeah, she's the one controlling everybody.
And that's not spoiler, guys. Don't even try that.
No, we should probably say spoilers for Chapter 10, because we'll probably talk about Chapter 10.
You know what? How long has this been out now? A week?
Yeah, week 2.
Yeah, that's not spoilers anymore. I mean, at some point we got to talk about the real stuff. And, you know, before we get into the characters, let's talk about how this story is moving forward. I got to say, we were a little bit hard on Square in the first chapters about how the story was kind of awkward and moving weird and all. And I got to say, I really love how they're developing the story right now, how they're developing Mog's not intervention, but Mog's implication in the story. How did you guys feel, you know, when that whole story developed in Chapter 10?
I never trusted that Moogle.
I'm still not sure. I didn't look ahead.
No.
I'm still not sure, but I mean, I'm sure he's gonna end up maybe being good. I'm sure all our doubts will be put to rest.
Well,
Like that.
You were talking about our good friend Square Enix, Josh. Well, I'm fairly sure not in the last stream, but the one before that, he did say that Mog was, you know, deep down inside a good guy. That he was not out there, you know, to screw us up in any way or whatsoever. But it's kind of hard, you know, when he's all happy and jumpy to go see Seifer and Ultimisia to figure out what the hell is he actually doing in there, and then he gets thrown up in the sky by insert Final Fantasy XII bad guy named here, by Vayne, and just blows up in the torsion. So
yeah, well, does he become Ultima, or does Ultima just come through the torsion?
Ultima just comes through.
Okay.
yeah, it just happened to be going that way.
Because I thought the first time I played it, I thought he, like Mog, became Ultima.
Yeah, I could see that too. Yeah.
I'm not very smart, but yeah, there's a lot of because I just completed hard mode before the show started. There's a lot of different bosses in this chapter, and a lot of different challenges, different types of challenges. So it's not very cookie cutter. You know, there's, you know, you have that kind of up and down dungeon, going underground, going back up. So I really like this chapter a lot, and of course the story development. And I'm a huge Final Fantasy VIII fan. It's my favorite Final Fantasy. So even though I did not pull for the disciplinary committee because I put all my love towards Quistis and Sephiroth, I enjoy seeing the scenes with the disciplinary committee and
Enjoyment.
I'm interested as I was listening to this again or watching these kind of scenes unfold again. I'd be very interested to see a remake of Final Fantasy VIII with voice acting, because I'm really not sure how Fujin's character actually communicates. Like reading it in text is never really bothered me, but as I'm trying to think about, okay, what would this actually sound like? I have no idea. How this woman actually communicates.
I think in the game they said she shouts really brief sentences, basically.
Agreement.
Yeah, pretty much.
Now, speaking of Fujin and Raijin as characters, are they bad or are they just really, really bad? Because when I pulled on that banner, I obviously didn't get any Seifer stuff. I've got both of their 15 CP. I didn't think too much. I boosted them to, level 2020, and then I played with these characters as they were leveling up to level 50, and I did not enjoy that moment at all. I don't like their abilities. I don't like how they're being played out. Maybe I'm just not understanding the proper way to work with their abilities. But have you guys had any chance, or are they just going to be warming the bench forever and ever?
You want to go first, Mark?
Mine are level 50, so that's something. I don't have any spears, so that was fun. Yeah, well, I mean, they, Raijin and Fujin have their unique elemental abilities, but yeah, I'll let Mino continue from there.
I don't think they're good. I really, really don't. I think this is a really bad banner all around. Seifer's okay. I totally expected them to have a heretic to have people pull, but as it stands as it is, I don't think anyone was really incentivized to pull from this banner, especially with Sephiroth around the corner.
Yeah.
And who else is coming out this month that's
Well,
really strong?
A lot of people pulled on this for Seifer.
They did? Really?
I saw a couple of fully Limitberg Seifer in the.
Yeah, I've seen almost none, at least set for friends.
I didn't see any Fujin Raijin fully limit broke, I could tell you that, but I've seen a few Seifers. Not as much as I've seen Sephiroth, and God knows they're all really good in co-op, but we'll get to that later.
I mean, they're
do a whole show
really,
on Sephiroth.
Yeah, they're really not great. Their gimmick is
It's
Wind
cheap.
Imperil and Lightning Imperil.
Yeah.
And I think Raijin can give a AoE physical attack buff, which is pretty decent. So what Ash can do, but not as useless. But other than that, they're really nothing special. Not good at all. Seifer, though, is the king of AoE damage for now, for what we have.
All right, I'm just glad to see that this time around it's not me that haven't fully understood how their character works. So let's see the chapter 10. There were a few bosses. There were a few annoying enemies, especially those kittens that you can hear as you hit and kill them. And my daughter did not appreciate hearing kittens in pain as I was, tearing this ghillie cat apart. I felt like a total shit when I did that. I had to turn down the sound because it was just messing up with me. What else? These freaking... Oh boy, another good name. The tiger stingy with the mustache. I think they call like curl or something like that.
Curls. Yeah. I hated those. The confused status.
I know, right?
Oh, yeah.
Wow. And that thing never seems to miss, the confused thing, and it's really, really annoying. And unlike, Final Fantasy Record Keeper, which is always the easy option where you have accessories that you can equip to, resist or, nullify elements, in and Dissidia, if they confuse you, if they paralyze you, if they anything, you're just pretty much screwed. So these fights...
It's only one turn, though. I mean, the confused status and the paralyzed status is one turn versus, like, those goblin mages do slow god for 5 turns. Yeah, that's a pain in the butt.
Yeah, maybe.
Have you ever been confused and actually hit somebody else in your party? Because I've only hit enemies.
Yeah. I think I was going to say the good thing about this confuse is at least they just hit the enemy. They won't hit their own party members, so it's not terrible. But
you're absolutely right. I hadn't realized that it had no adverse effect on my own party.
And generally don't the curls do petrify too in most Final Fantasy games?
Yeah, and
you're right.
And all that
crap. Especially in Final Fantasy IV.
If you fight them in Final Fantasy 15, it's oh man, those things in Final Fantasy 15 are a pain in the butt, and you fight like 40 of them at once, and they do all kinds. And because I'm old, like there's all kinds of things happening in that game at once, so I've like no idea what's happening. Like, oh, every Prompto's dead.
All right, all
dead.
right. Time out.
What's happening? Like I'm too old. There's too many buttons.
Time out. You're talking about Final Fantasy 15. If I had been any wiser, I would have brought this on at the beginning of the show. Now you bring this on, I got to say it. So on the Switch, they released something that had been on mobile for a while now. It's called the Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition. which I bought because I hadn't played Final Fantasy 15 at all. So I figured, you know what, I'm gonna get on the Bromance and try out that game. They should have two things. One, they should have renamed it Final Fantasy 15 Easy Edition because it's very linear. It's not super hard. You just jump through all the stuff. And this is going to be spoilers, so maybe skip like a minute or two if you haven't played Final Fantasy 15. You don't want to have it spoiled for you. But what the hell? What kind of story is that supposed to be? It doesn't make any sense from beginning. And why do you even level up these three guys, which one of them ends up being blind and semi-useless at the end of the game? When you fight the final bad guy, they just get trashed away. Right? What was the purpose of leveling these guys if you're not even using them? They just get thrown aside. Oh, it's going to be just you and me, King's Battle, and da 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 da. Well, what's wrong with that game? What was the whole purpose of this?
See, because the Pocket Edition throws out the actual game. Real Final Fantasy 15 is just playing the actual first part of the game for like 50, 60 hours or, with extra content forever and not actually playing the rest of the game.
Okay.
It's just bro camping trip. It's basically the Hangover, Final Fantasy Hangover.
That's a really good way to put it.
All right. So basically the idea is that Final Fantasy 15 is fun as long as you never complete it.
Well, yeah, you can complete it, and then you go back and just, play. It's the opposite of Final Fantasy 13. So Final Fantasy 13 was linear, open world, end game. Final Fantasy 15 is open world, then linear, end game.
Okay.
That's such a good point. That's a really good point.
So I guess then I played Final Fantasy 15 Story Edition. Because they did throughout everything. I mean, they try to pretend they have side quests, which is really dumb. There's the recipe thing, and there's only 11 of them, and it's it's silly, but you get all the stories, you get all the voiceovers. It's the same. You get some pretty actually good cutscenes because if you compare the cutscene in the actual game versus the one, because it's kind of like semi chibi art, like the World Final Fantasy thing. That's the kind of graphics you have, and you compare the scenes. It's actually pretty close, and it's very well made for the kind of graphics that it is, and the fact that it's the same like sounds and voices. It's really cool. So it's the story edition.
You missed out the fun. I mean, the fun of Final Fantasy 15 is, getting with your bros, camping, making food, fishing, taking pictures, hunting some monsters, growing.
One thing they didn't have in the Pocket Edition that I was really, really sad about? It's the noodle thingy that was a meme for so long. There's absolutely no mention of the noodle cops in the Pocket Edition.
You gotta have cup noodle.
Yeah, none of it. So.
Yeah, the cup noodle side quest is pretty good, actually, I have to admit.
So basically, if you were thinking about acquiring Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition, if you did not play the game and you want to have that checkbox in your, I played all of these Final Fantasy games, for the price it is, like $25-ish, maybe less in US, $20, go for it. It's a fun play. Just, think ahead of another game you'll want to play in 1 week because you'll be done with it. I mean, I played the commute to work back and forth, and I was done after like a week and a half of 3 hours a day, maybe 2 hours a day. So, but it was good fun, and it was the first Final Fantasy game that I had completed. Oh my, I'm gonna say that loud, aren't? It's the first Final Fantasy game that I have completed since Final Fantasy. I've actually completed Final Fantasy 13. No, I haven't. So it's the first game since Final Fantasy VI.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, my problem is when I get near the end, there's no. I lose all interest. I have a game on my phone for Final Fantasy VII, and I'm right at the end when you go after Sephiroth in the last world, and I've been trying to force myself to finish it for a year and a half now. Final Fantasy VIII, I stopped playing, in the castle where they rip out your abilities, and you have to do certain fights. And when I played it, I think I got the wrong abilities in the wrong order, and I just couldn't complete any freaking fight past that. Didn't play 9. I played 10 4 times. Never. Anyway, my point is, I finally finished a Final Fantasy game. So thank you, Mark, for helping me understand that I was just playing the story edition and not the bromance edition. So.
You're welcome. I said you're welcome. I know.
All right.
What were we talking about? I don't.
We were finishing the the curl. You were saying there's a lot of them in certain Final Fantasy 15 fights.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I am sorry. I got sidetracked. I've been wanting to talk about that for so long. You wanted to talk about level 1032 hard, which, if I'm correct, it's the last level of chapter 10.
Yeah, there's a couple. There's a couple of these levels in hard that you need to be a little bit more prepared for. 1027 Flowing Fields Part 2. The bosses are 2 red giants. They are resistant to magic, so just be aware of that. And then you go fight Seifer and Ultimacia. That's not a terribly difficult battle, but it can get out of hand if you're not paying attention. And then you go fight Vayne with a whole bunch of mannequins. Again, that's not a terribly difficult battle. I think that's probably one of the easiest. Vayne doesn't seem to be... although Vayne does have protections. He's got these, the traditional magic barrier, physical barrier. So you just kind of have to pay attention to which barrier. I think he starts with melee resistance.
Yep. And then he goes flying, and he's got magic resistance.
Yeah, which is obviously a very common Final Fantasy, and it was a power he had in the final fight too as well. So, he starts with melee resistance and gets magic resistant in the air. So again, that's just something to think about. And then you fight Holy Dragon, which is not terribly hard because it's just one of them. And then you fight Ultima, the High Seraph, in the very final fight, and there was something. Yes, so I did all of these fights with my new favorite trio, Sephiroth, Quistis, and Zaz, because it's lockdown. They're just a lockdown, especially if you have one boss. They just lock down the boss completely. So she starts though with Holy Ja, a group holy attack, and that removes all your buffs. So just be aware that her first attack is going to remove all of your buffs. And if you're playing somebody like Zaz or Aiko or whatever, I don't think I'm trying to remember if it removed the buffs like Octaslash. It may have, like Sephiroth's Octaslash, that kind of thing. But yeah, so realize that it's going to... she is going to remove all your buffs, and it starts with an abnormal field that prohibits you from summoning. So you can start the battle in a summon like the battle before, or just wait until it comes done and summon later.
I thought when she cast that, because obviously I don't read any of the text beforehand, I thought Chocobo wanted to talk to me when I did that battle. I was trying to hit it, like I thought there was an animation or text or something. It just took me a few turns because my summon gauge was not full yet. So it wasn't going to summon, so I just thought for a second he wanted to say something, and then I realized...
It's a weird cutscene. Like then you have to play it for every single summon, because each summon has their own cutscene. We are giving you the strength, and it would be like the exact same. You'd be super pissed off.
Yep. That's me in a nutshell. Anything you want to add to that fight, Mino?
No, not really. Honestly, I don't pay attention to these story mechanics because spamming Brave plus HP usually gets me through it. But I do remember that people kept saying summon right before the boss because then you can use your summon turns, and I keep forgetting, but it didn't matter. So
Me too. Yeah, both times I did it, I forgot.
same.
I mean, it's only level 75, so if you're completing the EX and that kind of stuff, you're not.
Did you say you were having trouble with the story chapter, the story battles, Pierre?
No, maybe. I don't know. I have fully limit broke characters and everything. They're fully limit broke. I just said that. But my point is, as I go through the battle and I don't use my abilities on the trash mobs or even before the final fight, my problem is I end up just running out of ability uses. I run on fumes by the end of the battle and I get crushed. I mean, I tried the Quistis EX, and those tiered eyes were just like laughing at me because I got them like to 30% each, and that was with like all of my abilities, all of my power. I mean, we'll get to that event in a second, but there is something I'm doing wrong in the way that I'm fighting these, and you know what? I'm actually considering streaming my fight so that I can get torn apart and roasted by my fellow players to understand what exactly I'm doing wrong. So might do that at some point. All right, we're already 47 minutes in this, including 25 minutes of Final Fantasy 15 rant. So let's move on to the Final Fantasy VIII Balamb Whip Splash event, introducing Quistis, which seems to be one of Mark's favorite characters as of late.
Right? She's been one of my favorite characters for a lot longer than this event. I'll tell you that.
Well, I mean, in the game, I've seen you use her a lot ever since she's been released. So what's so special about Quistis? She's got whips. What else?
Isn't that enough?
It is.
That enough?
It is.
But she's a teacher.
She is.
She can teach you things.
What did she teach you?
She tried to teach Squall some things, but that didn't work out real well. There's a lot of drama in Final Fantasy VIII.
There is
without voice acting and still simpler CGI graphics. So yeah, seen on their faces, very expression. Yeah,
What do you think of the character? Yeah, do you like her?
Yeah, Quistis, has two mechanics. She basically has a attack that slows, gives the debuff slow for your enemy, which is helpful, and then gives her a Brave Plus attack, although the Brave Plus attack is not the best because her attack is so low. Her damage output right now is not very good. I think she does get a little bit better at some point, but right now, unbuffed, she's not the greatest damage dealer. But her laser whip does slow, which is helpful. And then the other attack, the main attack, which Degenerator, right? Is that what it's called?
Yep. Defibrillator or
Defibrillator. No, but yeah, Degenerator whip. That actually delays turn of the opponent, and that is a Brave plus HP attack. And you only get 3 uses of that, but I mean, her and Sephiroth combined, I basically locked down every boss.
Yeah, you've posted screenshot with the title or the caption. Did the enemy want to actually have a turn at this?
Yeah,
I never thought about it, but you're right. She works really well with Sephiroth because he has that invisible speed down buff that's stacked on hers. And Quistis' whole gimmick is turn delay. Speed down and pushing turns back 3 turns.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, there are situations where it's not a very good, and again, her damage output's not particularly great. But, Sephiroth has his, like Mino said, invisible speed down. Quistis then has a speed down and a turn delay maneuver. So if you are intelligent enough to kind of space it out, yeah, you can pretty much delay, bosses for as many turns as you need to kill them. I mean, Ultima, I just in that fight, Ultima, I let her have one turn.
Pretty awesome.
Out of the goodness of your heart, or
yeah, I'm like, oh well, what? Because I completely forgot what Holy Judd did, and so I'm like, oh, I'll let her have one turn, and then I unbuffed all my characters. But then after that, even with unbuffing all my characters, Zaz, Sephiroth, and Quistis, she did not act again. Hard,
That's a blessing. Sephiroth came early then, because now Quistis has a use. Otherwise, her damage is pretty low.
It's terribly
low. Yeah, really on the low side. So all she really did was push turns back. Sephiroth can pile onto that and do massive damage. So they work pretty well together.
Yeah, and she does obviously benefit from Zaz and Aiko's buffs and anybody else's buffs. So that makes her a little bit more useful too if you're pairing her with Zaz. And obviously, if you have artifacts, I have fairly decent artifacts. I have my first double red artifact. I'm so excited.
CP5.
I don't. I've never seen any that aren't, but
oh, really?
So,
yeah, I've seen one today that was 15.
I've never seen any double red ones on my artifacts. So, but yes, this one is 5, so I'm very excited, and I have attack 108s for her. So she's not as bad as she could be.
So,
but still, yeah, her damage output's terrible.
Co-op strategy for these Tears Eye before we hit on the EX battle. What do we?
Don't bring Sephiroth.
Really?
Like, no. Let me clarify. Pierre and I were co-oping earlier this week, and somebody brought a non-max limit broke Sephiroth to the boosted. It said boosted. Pierre was hosting. Wanted boosted characters. Someone brought a non-max limit broke Sephiroth without his 35 CP weapon.
It happened.
Yeah, that was just don't use Sephiroth without his 35.
Basically. And they didn't use Octaslash anyway, so.
Oh man, this week in the Sephiroth co-op, the number of Sephiroths that refuse to touch Octaslash just drive me insane.
Like I use Octaslash on mobs in the EX battles, like before you get to the boss.
People just don't understand how Sephiroth works. I think they don't understand how the Genova stacks work, so they just save up that Brave plus HP attack. I don't know.
That's not how it works at all. Yeah, so don't bring non-max limit broke characters to a boosted event who aren't boosted. I don't.
But here's the thing that was funny about that person.
Did we win? Did we win that one?
Yeah, we did. I don't know if we're going to see this. That person, in his description, it said WhatsApp, and there's a number. So, okay, yeah, we're not going to see that very well. Let's see, maybe. So, that person actually had, these trucks that have, is my driving bad, call this number. So we actually totally could have WhatsApped him and taught him.
My God!
I mean, who does that?
Excuse me.
But yeah, we that was not a very high score game. I haven't really seen any good Sephiroth in any of these. But anyway, moving on. EX battles. Obviously, I haven't done it. It's 5 ways. I'm super interested in seeing what you guys use. What was your strategy? What characters did you use except Zaz for Mark, I presume?
I'll go first because I don't have much to say about this one. I didn't even have a specific strategy for this one. I felt like out of all the X's, Quistis was one of the easier ones if you have the meta characters. I just did, I think, Saz, Aiko, Kane?
Kane?
I think, and then I just did the usual hit hard and buff. Nothing. Yep. This one was not. You just take them down one by one, I think. And that's all there is to it. It was like a much easier version of Maria's, I think.
Yeah, I didn't find this one. It wasn't super easy, but not super difficult. I used Serah, Kucha, and Zaz, and just for fun. And that was before I had Quistis. So, I hadn't max limit broker yet, so I didn't even use her. But I later I went back and I used Quistis, Serah, and Zaz, and that was easier, obviously. But
To add on to that, maybe for Pierre later is I brought Vaughn actually as my third and an assist.
Oh yeah.
And all I did was bring one to half, summon. Both Vaughns annihilated the first one and did some damage to the second one, and then it was just a breeze the rest of the way through.
Vaughn's a good
pretty good strategy.
Option. And I think that's my support character, if anybody's looking for...
It is.
Okay,
it is.
I think that's my support character.
I can confirm that it is.
Who has fairly decent artifact passives, I believe, so. And max limit broke, of course.
So, I was listening to what you guys were saying about Quistis. There's, 5 days left at that event. At that point, would you recommend anyone to draw on that banner in hope of having Quistis gear? Or is she already past her prime now that her event is going to be...
That's a tough question. Speaking from a future perspective, her damage is garbage, and it's only going to get worse in the Awakening era. But there's a time people use her to set up launches, because there's going to be a time where Lael is the strongest character out there with his launches, and with Quistis' delays, you can set up launches easily. When you push enemy turns back and your entire team is lined up, you can set up launches anytime you want and get the full benefit from it.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to play in the lat launch meta, then honestly, just wait till she comes back.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Let's move on to the One Wing Angel. That would be Sephiroth, which was introduced early thanks to the community votes in the second community Who Do You Want to See pool from Square Enix. The choices were Sephiroth, Radia, and who's her face? I don't remember who was the third
Sid?
choice.
I think it was Sid.
Yeah, Sid. Yeah.
Okay. Final Fantasy VII Sid?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So, basically, so this event introduced Sephiroth, which, weirdly enough, decides to join Cloud and the gang because that's kind of sort of how it played out. And they couldn't find any boss better than Sephiroth, so you just fight Sephiroth using Sephiroth, but you're fighting mannequins.
Yeah, you're. I'm really not sure which Sephiroth this is, like story wise.
Yep.
Because he seems like he's post Advent Children Sephiroth.
Yeah. He seems like he knows everything.
like post reunion, second reunion, third reunion, like stories we haven't even heard yet. Like he's always just there. Like it's Sephiroth, he's always around.
Yeah, and this event's a win-win because if you like Sephiroth, you get Sephiroth, and if you hate Sephiroth, you get to fight Sephiroth. So
there you go.
There you go.
And if you're undecided, you can fight him with him. So there we go. You guys pull on that banner, I presume?
I passed because as a day one player, I have Aiko and Vincent's 15 CPs maxed. I did not want to waste any pulls here.
Oh, that's interesting. You didn't want to have their 35 CP?
Oh, the chances are so low. I think that's a combined chance of
30%, yeah.
Yeah, is it? I don't want to risk that.
Mark, you got fully limit broke Sephiroth, don't you?
Yeah, of course. Of course I do. I don't have any other, weapons, but I got plenty of Sephiroth. Yeah, I spent a few tickets and 35,000 gems on this banner, but I had not pulled on Aiko or Vincent previously.
Okay.
Even though I do like those characters a lot. Outside of this game and in this game as well. So, and I've never pulled on Aiko, and of course you got to have Aiko. But so I was pumped. I was primed for this banner, and I love Sephiroth. And again, I was looking forward to trying the mechanic with him and Quistis here for a while, although it's not going forward, won't be around, but for the time being. So yeah, I pulled on this and got everybody, and everybody's max limit broke now. Vincent, Aiko, and Sephiroth. So, yeah,
pretty cool.
This is a
really
good banner for beginners. If
oh yeah, geez.
If you ever want to get someone into this game like
Yep.
fresh, this is the best time to do it, because you get an amazing damage dealer in Sephiroth, an amazing support in Eiko, an amazing debuffer in Vince. They're a complete team by themselves.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
But for veterans who've probably been pulling on these other two for a long time, it's the chances are low.
All right, that makes a lot of sense. So moving on to the co-op battle where you fight the Bankin version of Sephiroth, Zidane, and Terra. I didn't find it too hard, and I went in with Eiko myself, so because I've got her fully limit broke now, thanks to that one draw that I did on that banner. I didn't get any Sephiroth stuff, but I got Eiko's 35 CP like twice, so I was able to fully limit breaker, and God, is she an awesome brave creator and sharer and everything. Definitely, she get good number. And I remember you posted something on Twitter, Mark, where you got, was it Sephiroth? You had at like 20k bravery or something. It was just insanely.
We've gotten him up to 40,000 pretty easily. And you can do more than that. I mean, now he doesn't. It's not going to get, his attack's not going to get that high. So,
what's the strategy to get him?
I've done somewhere around 36,000 damage with Sephiroth. So,
how do you do that? What's the strategy?
Obviously, going forward, he's he can do quad or 5/9s with his EX. And the break mechanic. Well, his ability, his stack, the Genova stacks, increases his max brave, and also gives the opponent a speed down with every time it increases. And it can increase if you have his 35 CP weapon. It can increase to 5. So you're already increasing his max.
Let me jump in there. So the speed down only kicks in on stack 5. So
I did not know that. Interesting.
See, that's why we have you on, because I would have been forced to say, oh, by the way, mine on Twitch says that you're full of shit, and...
Just wanted to put it out there so I know it'll improve people's gameplays, especially Mark's been getting those high scores on those difficult content. This is only going to make him a better player.
No, please, we don't need that.
I know,
right? I'm still not fully convinced he's not cheating, but seriously, so basically
the strategy is to bring 3 Sephiroths who don't have their 15 CP weapons, and to just brave attack Tidus or Zidane. Yes, just Zidane, and take out Zidane first, and then let Sephiroth kill you. That's really the plan. I've seen so many Sephiroths like come into co-ops and just completely be wasted because they're not paying attention, brave attacking. Like, what? Like, the battle's not long enough for you not to use all of your abilities. Like, I don't see any reason. A fervent blow, first 3 turns. Like, who is this? Why are we playing Sephiroth if you're just gonna waste turns? I don't. Yeah, so here's the thing. It's assuming you have Sephiroth with his 35 CP weapon. Your first 3 turns are Octoslash, Octoslash, Octoslash.
So you waste out all of the Octoslash right off the bat?
Well, yeah, because as Mino said, you don't get the speed down until you're 5, and you get buff staffs. So your fervent blow when you're buffed is obviously able to do a little bit more.
Yeah, I think each stack is an increase in attack, max brave, and speed for Sephiroth. So
yeah,
you want to blow them as soon as possible.
Okay. Yeah. Just it's currently Eastern time 10:12. Just want to say that there's a new thing. The Odin summon dungeon is now permanently open, and there's the half-price weekly banner, which is now available, which has Edgar, Bart, and Laguna on it. So just putting it out there. And on that banner, there's Bart's and Edgar's 35 CP that are available. So
I think I'll do a poll right now. Let's see.
Oh,
you want to do that? Fine, let's do that. Let's poll.
Too bad I can't put it on screen. But...
Yeah, well, neither can I for a moment.
Are you guys pulling on this one?
Sure.
I'll pull on all the half ones for now.
Yeah,
These characters are not bad.
I'm pulling only on the half ones, so let's see.
It's a silver orb, so let's hope that means good luck. But we'll see. Oh, awful luck. I got 2 Bart's 15 CPs. Alright, well, I hate this banner now.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get anything good out of this. I got 115 CP. It's Laguna's gone, so yeah, that I'm with you, mine on that one. That was garbage banner. So.
Did Mark pull?
No, but I may max out my inventory instead. So.
Mark is the wiser one here. All right, let's move on to the EX. Well, okay, so we covered the co-op battle. Don't bring 3 not fully limit broke Sephiroth. Please don't do that. EX battle. What was your trick? Basically, how did you fight it? It's 3 waves of mannequin. How did you get through it? Was it as easy as Quistis or hard, or how was it? Because I didn't even try to tackle that one yet.
I think this is the hardest X yet. This is pretty ridiculous. But how'd you do, Mark?
Yeah, so yeah, I agree. I think this is the hardest of the battles, and I tried a couple different strategies. So I tried Sephiroth, Aiko, and Vincent before I had them max limit broke, and I haven't done it since they've all been max limit broke. So because you can do that, and that would be one option. And then I tried 1 or 2 other things before I eventually I'm trying to see what I ended up with. Yeah, so I ended up with Sephiroth, Aiko, and Zaz. And then
surprise.
Yeah. And ended with 50,000. Yeah, so this is 5 waves, and there's a lot of enemies. And how many? Just 2 waves of mannequins, right? So
how many? I think it's a 1. Yeah. You're right, 2.
Yeah. So the first 2 waves are whatever, and then you have Terra and somebody, Titus or Zidane. I forget which order they are in. Then another wave of stupid guides, and then 3.
Yeah, you said wave 3 is Terra and Titus.
Yeah.
So
that. That kind of hits you in the head once you get to that wave and realize how much HP those stupid things have. But I'm not afraid, especially with Aiko and Zaz, I'm not afraid to use abilities. I don't hoard abilities. So I'll buff, start with Aiko. I think I started with Aiko's buff, and then I buffed Sephiroth with Zaz and kind of went from there. And again, not afraid to use Octaslash. I didn't use all the Octaslashes, but I think I at least got it up to 4. So he was pretty well buffed, and then 5 into the final fight.
Wait a second. You mentioned that when we were talking about co-op, and I thought I heard it wrong. You just said it again, and now I got to stop you right there. So the Genova buff goes up to 5, right?
Yes.
Okay. But there's only 3 ability uses of Octoslash.
It's 4 without the 35 CP, because I think he might have a charged passive, and then it's 5 with the 35 CP.
Okay.
Yeah, but you get two counters if you have his 35 CP weapon.
Oh.
35 if you attack, if it's like lightning. If you break an opponent with Octaslash, or you hit a broken opponent, he gains 2 stats.
Yep.
There it is. Okay, thank you. I was trying to wrap my head around it, and I just couldn't figure out how that mechanic works. So that's why I guess you want to use it at the beginning of the fight as much as you can, because the enemies are easy to break or are already broken by your other characters.
Yeah. So if you use it against someone and you don't break them, you only get 1 counter. If you break them, or if they're already broken, you get 2. So generally speaking, unless you're not paying attention, 2 uses of Octaslash is going to get you to 4, and then the third one's going to get you to 5.
And does the Genova buff has a count that like lasts for a number of turns?
It is
Forever.
permanent.
Okay.
Permanent.
So that's pretty cool.
Which is nice. Yes.
Okay.
So I think optimally, I think you get 5 stacks and 3 Octaslashes in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then you just fight the rest of the fight and save your last 2 for whatever.
Yeah, pretty much, right?
Cool. So same question as we did for the Quistis event. Now, obviously, this event is still brand new. There's still a lot of days into it. But let's pretend there's only 5 days left at that point. Would you recommend someone to pull on this banner to get Sephiroth's gear moving forward? Is he going to be maybe not a super meta, but still pretty useful going forward?
He's pretty strong for about a month or so. Second wave of awakenings, he's going to get destroyed. But that's, if we're following JP's schedule, a month after the first wave, which Josh pretty much said is coming at the end of this month. So depends on how accelerated it is. Once the second wave shows up, he's kind of dead in the water. But he's a lot of fun until then, so and like I said before, new players, if you don't have Aiko or Vincent, they're great characters to have. You might as well pull now.
They're great.
And again, he'll get his awakening and he gets his EX weapon and back where they are with everybody. So
yeah, it's like a game of leapfrog now.
Yep.
Whenever somebody gets their awakening, they're gonna jump back to the top for a bit.
Yep.
All right.
So yeah, I think Mino's right. If you're a new player or encouraging someone to start, this is a nice banner. Especially to spend all those new player gems on. Yeah.
Cool. All right, let's move on to the question of the week. This week's question is from Lucas, that's at SquareLukester on Twitter. He asks, I actually have a question nobody would ask except for me. Should other spin-off Final Fantasy characters deserve a heartbeat chance to make their appearance at playable characters? Now, when he says spin-off Final Fantasy characters, I would presume he means like Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, Final Fantasy World of Final Fantasy, these kind of games, right?
Maybe. I hope so. Maybe he means Kingdom Hearts and other collabs. I have no idea.
Because he says spin-off Final Fantasy characters.
Oh, okay, yeah, spin-offs. Then yeah, you're right. Like Crystal Chronicles and stuff, I guess.
So, because we've got Final Fantasy Type 0 in this, which I gotta say is, as far as I'm concerned, a bit of a spin-off by itself. We've got Remza, which is
Yeah.
already in there. Lucas, what more do you want? What's in your mind?
You're going to get Crisis Core coming up. X2, we already have the X2 gear, so we could certainly get Pain. And what I really want, I don't care what Final Fantasy game is. My hope and dream one day would be for a Final Fantasy Unlimited tie-in, so that we can have the Black Wind Kaze himself as a playable character in any of these games. Because if you have not experienced the Final Fantasy anime, Final Fantasy Unlimited, although the Final Fantasy V movie is terribly hilarious, classic anime style, but the Final Fantasy Unlimited anime series, which is 24 episodes, that is a treat. You should treat yourself. I don't know where you can find it. I own it on DVD because, of course. But if you don't own it on DVD, I don't know if you can YouTube it. Probably. It's a treat. Your life would be improved. And so the main character is Kaze, the Black Wind, and he has a summon gun. See, his gun shoots summon creatures.
Because why not?
And it's amazing. That's all I'm gonna say. And of course it's like a 15-minute build up to actually summon a creature, because he has to use 3 different bullets, 3 different sands to in the gun to shoot the summon, and he has to tell you about it like in pose.
Oh dear God!
Form. So it's amazing. It is great. If you haven't watched Final Fantasy Unlimited, it's great, and it's really great because the actual main characters are these two annoying kids, and then there's Kaze, and then there's the bad guy, who are obviously from a much cooler Final Fantasy game that no one's ever played. They just end up in this and then kind of steal the show. So, yeah.
See, Wayward Drunk on Twitch says that he rented the VHS from Hollywood Video.
Yes.
So if we were 15 years back, I would say head on to your nearest Blockbuster. Now these things don't exist anymore, so hopefully there's a reliable source to find that. I will keep a mental note to try and find it, because I definitely I really want, and I really don't want at the same time, to see that gun that shoots out summons.
Well, you should, at least, the very least you should YouTube, because I'm sure you can find this on YouTube. You should YouTube Final Fantasy Unlimited. What's the name of the gun? The gun has a name, of course, and I'm completely forgetting. But you can YouTube Final Fantasy Unlimited Kaze summon, and you'll probably
Magun.
be able to find the Magun, MAGUN.
Yeah, MAGUN, or a demon gun, which when inactive or frozen has a cylindrical shape. He holds the soil charges used to fire the Magun on his belt. So
yes, it is. If you are a fan of anime or a fan of Final Fantasy, this is something to treat yourself to.
All right. Any answer to that, Mino?
I need to check this out. I've never got a chance to see it, but if Mark thinks that highly of it, I'm got to check out a few episodes.
All right. Next week's question is coming from Like a Serah. That's Dropman17 on Twitter. He says, create a character not yet released in Japan. Pick their 2 abilities and what they do. Quick example: Red 13 ability Sled Fang, brave attack, defense, and max bravery down, and speed and attack boost, and ability Lunatic Eye, bravely plus HP attack, and I'll repeat that as we go. It's going to be in the show notes. I think that's going to be an interesting exercise. I look forward to see what you guys come up with.
Right.
So definitely, we'll do that. If you have a question you would like us to ask ourselves and others on the show, you can always email it to us at kupo@tccpodcast.com. You can leave it in YouTube notes, and you can send it to us at Twitter or on Facebook. All the links are available on our website at tccpodcast.com. Coming events, there's the Trials of Odin, which are now available, as we said a few minutes ago. On October 7th, there's going to be the lost chapters for Ace, Sabin, and Seymour. On October 10th, there's going to be a Devoted Heart, the Final Fantasy V event for Lena. Then 7 days after, Space Dreams, Final Fantasy VII Sid is coming. October 21st, the Trials of Pandemonium. What's that?
The summon.
Oh, okay, the summon. 3 days later, on the 24th, the Halloween campaign. Do we know what that's going to be about?
No.
We've got no indication. Alright, and the event I am personally looking forward to, hoping that character is not total garbage, Overcoming Sadness, the Iridia event. So, there we go.
We pretty much have an event every Sunday and Wednesday this month. It's insane.
Yeah, which means that next month there's going to be jack crap to do on that game. It's usually how it works.
We'll see. I hope they surprise us.
Not if they're throwing out the first wave of Awakenings.
Oh, that's right. You're absolutely correct. I had forgotten about that. So, yeah, that's going to be your show for tonight. Mino, thank you for being there.
For having me.
Hopefully, I want to say out loud, real public, I look forward to have you with us moving forward. I hope you had fun with us, that we didn't cause too many head desks for you. Well, we didn't hear the bang this time around, so
I loved it.
Thank you, people on Twitch, for being there. Thank you, listeners on YouTube or on your favorite podcast application. Again, if you have anything you want to send us, all the links are on tccpodcast.com. That's email, Facebook, Twitter, Carrying Pigeon, everything. We'll be with you next week on Twitch, probably Wednesday, same time. So we'll see you next week. Thank you for being there. You guys are great.